Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
Yo, I am a poet. And Shockie G, CP, I know you know exactly what I mean. When I say this, I say it as a confession, hoping that you will be able to offer me some sacrament of reconciliation. Honesty demands that I come clean on this. The only person that you should be more suspicious of is the one pretending not to be a poet. You see, we poets play at make-believe, dreams, not with childlike whimsy, but with the madness of grown men and women playing with paper dolls. We play at being CEOs, rock stars, and life coaches, at intellects, civic leaders, politicians, and preachers, poets in bag drag, poets at the freak show. Step right up and see the bearded lady. It's funny at first. Like cards with pictures of animals dressed up as humans. Funny. But after a short stare, you start to wonder, do they really live their lives this way? We pretend eagerly to be seen as something other than what we are, understandably. While we wish to be different, we are compared to philosophers, but we lack the precision and education with words, often clumsily. With brute force, our stories come out. Not prophets, for we are not nearly as courageous, not dancers, for but we struggle with rhythm, not preachers. But we have few followers, not precisely artists, but we lack originality. If we were painters, we would be painting at the mall, $10 a pick. We reshuffle our deck of words, hoping to play the right hand this time. Unlike doctors, engineers, and teachers, we are unuseful for society. I am a poet because I love people, but not particularly more than anyone else loves people. We poets are not extraordinary, but ordinary, with this call laded onto us, branded into us with iron. We are Captain Nemo, struggling with the sea creature, 20,000 leagues under the sea, and not all poets feel this way. Just the interesting ones. I do more than poetry, y'all. But as deep down as I can tell, I am a poet. I laugh as one. I cry as one. I am moved as one. I do all of these things as a poet would do them. Not as a part of my aspiration, but as a part of my identity. I am a poet who hates the sound of his own voice, except on those days when I love it. All I have is words. I've heard words are a weapon, but of little impact when you can buy your guns at Walmart along with your medication. I carry the weight of these words, hear the call of them asking me to be better. I cannot live up to their calling, nor carry the weight. Who could? And while words can't fix it all, and in fact, I don't know if words can fix anything at all, but I am a poet, and words are all I've got. So these words are going to have to be enough. Because I don't say this often and I don't say it loud. I say it often with a catch in the back of my throat, like I'm about to choke. But I will say it here, and I'll try and make it clear that y'all, I'm white. And I'm proud. You see, I'm so white that if you cut me, I'd probably bleed mayonnaise, but my lyrics is still going to have your hands raised because I'm white like Eminem, screaming, I just don't give a fuck. What's up? White like Elizabeth K saying that you can measure out my confidence in teaspoons, stir it into my poetry, and then it still tastes funny in my mouth. White like Benjamin Franklin setting up the library. White like white boys in the back of the bus lines and the freedom lines. White like Papa's coming home, kissing mama, then me, tucking us both in to go to sleep. White like, damn, this white boy's got skills. This white boy can kill. White like that kid is not really white. White like Vanilla Ice saying stop. White like Cat Williams saying, man, white people is nice. Hello? No, I'm sorry. There's no LaQuisha here. Well, what number did you dial? No, it's an 8, not a 7. We'll try it again. If you don't get her, call me back. We'll figure this thing out. White like cut off one of my nuts. Win 7 tours to France. White like spitting this poem is taking a chance. White like these are my kids: Becky, Clara, Wyatt, Hallen, Anna, Logan, Stacy, and Dylan. White like I just want 2.5 kids. Picket fence to match my skin and a couple million. White like, man, white boys can't dance. White boys can't jump because white boys too busy owning slaves. I mean owning the team. I mean owning the slaves. I mean owning the NWA. I mean NAACP. I mean NBA. I mean NFL. No, what I mean is white like we cultural kleptomaniacs. No, what I mean is white like the more I spit, the more hip hop is dead, closer to its end. No, what I mean is white like I ain't never had a cop pull me over, search my car, beat me till I bleed. White like I'm a middle class white American. So y'all, I got all the luck that I need. But I'm also white like shark attack, lost arm, came back. You know, a soul surfer. Yeah, white like Robin Williams saying, I can't do this no more. White like my grandfather, giving everything that he had to the poor, going broke on it. Yeah, white like our senators, giving everything that they have to the poor, going broke on it. White like asking my best friend to hit me, praying to God that he could beat this white off of me. So you see, I'm white. And I'm sorry. But I'm also white. And I'm proud. Me? Oh, I've been trying to buff off the skid marks left on Saturn's rings, which has just been practice for learning how to treat her holy. Oh, I've been holding a dinosaur's roar. My wife calls her our daughter, dancing to death to the rhythm of do it again, Abba. Do it again, Daddy. A crowbar has been trying to beat me beautiful. He has forgotten the power of leverage. I'm leveraging my hopes against my heart, compounding interest in death. These ain't scars. They're just hickeys from Mother Earth and the universe, telling me I'm stronger than my memories are. Memory, Nemo, Mania's maze. Shane told me once that I was beautiful, and I have never forgiven her for it. Can't forget. I 8-get. I 2020-get. You might want to learn some Chinese. I'm so hungry, scared to death that Nemo really does mean like no one. Michelangelo of the gutter, swinging nuns and chucking hallelujahs at girls named dartboards. I've been holding staring contests with hurricanes, hiding their pupils' purpose from me. Living in my grandmother's dowry turned crack house, shooting out smoke with slingshots, taking shots with Goliath's nephew, not wanting to own up to what our fathers did to each other, didn't do, done wall built West Bank. I don't been sleepy, y'all. I've been sleepy from arm wrestling rose bushes into crowns, snake skin shed tears with lions over lambs. Me. Oh, I've been double dutching with demons disguised as kids in Halloween costumes, dating my doubts, trying to go Dutch with Christ for my salvation. Look at the stars in her eyes, but never stop to wonder what's been burning up. I've been teaching rock bottom how to get down. I've been trying to convince my wife that those are fireworks and not gunshots, taking Freudian slips out the ink bottle. Notes. Too fun to hear. Too wordplay from here. Me. Y'all? Oh, I've been doing fucking fine.
When my mother passed, I was unable to pay for her funeral. I told myself I would never attend anyone else's, and still, every day, I find myself dressed in black ink, writing eulogies, carrying dead weight like pallbearers, digging up dirt just to bury the people who have wronged me. Every time I leave a woman's bedside, the walk home is a funeral procession, knowing I will never see her again. Sometimes I burn bridges because it reminds me of a cremation, how I've learned to hold ashes closer than I ever did a person, how an urn will never tell a lie, but also never tell the truth, how I know my mother carried secrets to her death, but even if I pressed her ashes into diamonds, I will never see them. Have you ever stood in a graveyard? How it be so silent you could hear your mistakes laughing? Because the dead do not make a sound. And so I've learned how to put living beings inside my coffin ribcage, pronounce them dead, the coroner of my own mental cemetery. If you look close, you can see tombstones behind my eyelids. Mama, I did not lie, but it's hard not to attend a funeral when you are a walking graveyard. My heart beat a 21 gun salute, and somehow I am still living.
I've been looking forward to be hitting the stage with style and grace, so allow me to lace my shoes first before I start tripping all over the place, falling face first. My heart is racing at the thought of wasting your time. I've wined and dined with kings and queens, and I slept in the alley eating porks and beans into a food coma, becoming a ghost of the unseen until I wake in the cold, shaking like a fiend deprived not of vice but of shelter. Please let me in. I have walked through battle cry and sin, breathing out and breathing in what feels like cement filling up my rib cage, solidifying and encapsulating my inner mage. However, I'm trying my best to manifest this ideal life, and I refuse to settle for less as I break through the mess of stress while the rest doesn't matter. Oh yes, how I have longed for the caring caress of neurotypicality. Never knowing when the doomsday clock will strike midnight, I'm calm like a bomb, trying all my might to not get ticked at the world, to not be so frantic, tick, 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 of all of what ifs and what nots, making me question my thoughts. My brain is tied in knots with random thoughts and it never stops. The brakes have been gone a long time ago, a really long time ago, but not the mind, amigo. So, reassure me. Let me know that everything is okay.
It's called Concrete Asylum. This is not about us right now. Our scars, our God, beautifully broken. We are two-tongue tokens from gospels given, found next to shotgun lungs spoken. Scars, we are JC's raging touch one. The Messiah's metaphor you've mistaken as maize has anointed those asphalt angels as artisans, appointed this generation as concrete, noun, adjective, verb, or in other words, any artist blessed with the hard breath of God, concrete. Any artist who's crossed the lines of lunacy, pursuing pure passion, hoping to loosen invisible noose ropes, silently killing their people, concrete. Any artist whose catharsis keeps them ground-breaking bones like prayers. Father, forgive us our sins. We need to run, nor hide from them, but abide in them so that others may find their strength in our hymns. Charge us with the passion of burning bushes to spit fire, spit phlegm, spit concrete. This is not about us right now. Our scars, our God. And by God, maybe you've been broken, maybe recently spoken, breaking silence for the sake of something sweet. Scripture indicates beautifully feet spread good news. Our scripted truth bleeds belief. Aside from youth, beauty only rests when battered, bruised. Third eyes never blind, never mind. We muse concrete, fighting for footholds in stumbled streets. We solid rock ages breaking from beneath sinking sand, setting stages where soon to be soldiers will stand. Concrete helmets on our hearts, head counts, set cadence. We sound our roll call for reservoir dogs. Still up and coming, we lead, we bleed by example, scripting skill, writing will, coaching to kill when called upon, marching on, steady boot stomping, blunt lines to feed the future's front lines where mortar and metaphor meet, concrete, recruit roster blends, firewalkers and fellowship of frozen hearts, self-sustained scars from heavy-handed stanzas, blood-borne bonanzas. Feel free to stop by anytime, stop buying anytime to breathe. The longer we live, love, lose, linger, the more we seem to cut deep, concrete, pounding perspectives like porn stars pound rectums, indie poets puzzle piecing reflections, concrete, padded walls are obsolete. New age straitjackets have loose leaf pages, and good therapist has a ballpoint. The malicious metaphor you've mistaken as mania has molded time and temperament into an instrument, etched in stone and engraved concrete. We mix manic and metaphor maze, mind springing the mason whose mortar deliberately lays suicide lines in the pavement, starting from Satan's basement, forming foundations to escape with salvations on stairways to heaven. Our heartbeats shared by brethren who structure their bases from the features of their faces. They look like split stasis, and forever we pledge our poems in chorus together, exalting our praises, evolving our places in the wall of this ageless asylum. Our existence is concrete. Poem written by C.P. Mays and Mania Rosen.
Yo, I heard them say that you can't walk on the sidewalks downtown in any major city with a Trump hotel without stepping on the bones of slaves. This poem is not about race. This poem is about feet. So look down at your feet. No, really, y'all, look down. Oh, y'all actually did it. Holy shit. When's the last time you remembered to remember your feet? You'll remember that your feet have 26 different bones in each of them. A quarter of all the bones in your body were dedicated and designed to building your foundation. You got a lot of places to go. And oh, the places you will go. When you walk, 33 different joints come together to help to get you to where you are dreaming. Keep dreaming. When's the last time you remembered to thank them for the fields that they have carried you through? And the waters that they refuse to let you drown in before taking you back to the sunlight, back to the air, back where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. I wish I could be a part of that world. My feet remind me that I was a professional ballet dancer. So I remember my feet being held up to the sky like a god before plummeting to the earth to save the rest of the body in a perfect pirouette and then tondoing into a glissade, allowing the entire body to look effortless, strong. Shoot. I gotta back up. I didn't say that right. What I meant to say was that the bones, Donald, that we walk over daily belonged to Black ballet dancers who were strung up like a god before plummeting to the earth and then tondoing into a glissade, allowing their entire death to look effortless, strong enough to make the rest of us fear you like a god when they are the original, where the rest of the body comes from, thrown into shackles, but they could not suffocate you, carried into seas, but they could not drown you, asked to hold up and build up this one-man world while forefathers told us they are just feet. They will only ever be feet. This is not a metaphor. This is a reminder that this poem is about race, about feet, about race, about feet, about feet walking on sidewalks powdered with the bones of blacks offering us their backs so that we can get to our jobs, of cops choking concrete corners, of the media asking us why was this sidewalk there in the first place. But sidewalks don't have mouths, so they can't say things like hands up, don't shoot, I was on my way to work, I can't breathe, and if they could, would we have even have listened? And y'all, I'm sorry that I had to drive over your asphalt covered in blood to realize Black Lives Matter. This was never about race. It wasn't supposed to be about race. I thought it was just about feet, y'all. About getting us to where we are going. But how can we get anywhere worth going without first recognizing how we got there? How we got here in the first place?
The clock read 11:47 when it felt like we ascended to heaven. Our eyes closed and lips parted by our tongues. Spiritual transcendence cracked my mind open like an egg against porcelain with the softest touch. As our lips crashed against as your lips crashed against mine like a meteor, sending tsunami waves of excitement and pleasure to the shorelines of my being, swallowing and washing away whatever trash I still had in the slums of my heart. So, in case you didn't know, the way we kiss is an entire radio frequency I wish I was tuned into a long time ago. If kisses were like songs, we got those hits that are music for the soul. They can steal any show in my world. With that said, let me know if you want to hold a concert at corner of Neuer Roll Boulevard and Jabroni Drive. Your jam is my jam, and I hope my jam is your jam. And I would love to jam more together. Let's identify as Bob Marley because I want to be jamming with you. I dig our sound, our vibe. It's the kind of shit that makes me feel alive. Hold up. It's that kind of shit that makes me feel alive. So let's take 5 and contemplate more on this cool jive, this new song we created. I want to spring and blossom with you, write words on the same page with you. My world's hues are not in blue when I'm sharing moments with you. Magic carpet riding into your soul. Our lips are sliding and losing controls. Please excuse me. Without further ado, as we get lost inside of you. I don't have the slightest of clue, and it goes probably double for you. Pure passion escapes the zoo, and it's the stampeding on us too.
When they come for you, and they will comfort you, kill them dead and let their last testaments and wills come for you so they can watch what your will can do. Bang, bang. There's hot lead, liquor, and a little bit of Lucifer left over in my liver. You can't cold cock a cold clock in boxer briefs, bent off tumbleweeds, wearing nickel-plated six-shooters whose only needs believe that the gates of heaven needs to relinquish the gates of hell's backup keys, draw down and skin that smoke whacking, or just stand there and bleed. 10 paces high, noon, turn, shoot, don't forget to breathe. Bang, bang. Daredeviling with diction, dares you shoot me down. Bang, bang. Swingling saloon doors, poker chips, and brainstorms will be your last heard sounds. Bang, bang. The pit bull I rode into town prefers whiskey warm and our late night snacks from leftovers from last night's last supper's table scraps. They didn't even say goodbye. They didn't even take the time to lie. Bang, bang. My brothers and sisters' pens will shoot you down. Bang, bang. Till bodies of works hits the ground. Bang, bang. From a writer's block, such an awful sound. Bang, bang. Our brainstorms will leave you drowned. Let it cook, Maze. Bang, bang. I've not yet begun to defile myself. Bang, bang. Son of a gun, cousin of death. Bang, bang. Tell brainstorms and ashes left in inkwells write me out of death. Bang, bang. Tell time we are all top shelf. Bang, bang. You won't shoot me down. Bang, bang. You won't shoot me down. Bang, bang. You won't shoot me down. Bang, bang. You won't shoot me down.
If you give a mouse a cookie, he'll ask for no. If you give a broken man a badge, a gun, a false sense of power, he will ask for immunity, the freedom to kill at will. Last week, a cop shot an unarmed citizen, used excessive force on someone having a mental health crisis, threatened to arrest a homeless person for sleeping anywhere. The thing about this poem is I could have wrote it 2 years ago, next year, this morning, and all of that would still be true. The cops in my city have decided they will no longer come when we call. They figure if we're going to protest a death, there's no reason to keep us alive. Officer voicemail reporting for backup has a different kind of ring to it. I guess it's a call of duty, especially when you got black ops in this modern warfare. We said defund. They heard defend and refused to do either. So no one wants to be a cop anymore, they say. Sounds more like they don't want to be held accountable. More like they can all go to hell in the same handbasket as the rest of the bad apples. Bruised egos and body cams, riot gear and wrong decisions, walking a thin blue line between protecting corporate assets and serving community. We never needed a mouse to show us how the cookie crumbles. Just give a man a badge, and he will milk it until he takes his last breath.
Identity. I am a kaleidoscope of ebony and injustices in which tribe and culture will inevitably help shape my destiny. Who am I? I am a strand on the sitar of the music we called love, yet I can only walk with the moon in darkness, creating chasms and divisions like a sliced tomato. Huge waves of giant predators lash me against rocks with hostile intensity. In this illusionary chimera of life, identity embraces my moral compass and political persuasions, my religious beliefs, memories, values, and life choices from Nubian kings and queens, which may very well contradict that of others. Who am I? I am paired with the duality of light and darkness, cold and warmth, walk with twinkling stars, even while dancing with the shadows of night, living an Eden of painful scars in my emotions. My mind's reactionary, and I tussle with the agony of prejudices perceived, attempt to deal with the weight of my burden of labels, engrossed in pain, while insecurity and loneliness slice my heart with scimitars. Who am I? I am the light I long to see, and change for sure begins with me. I struggle to rise from oppression, to improve my angle of vision, my environment, my darker impulses, the turbulent forces I cannot control in my quest for happiness. Solitude evades me like the tail of a dog. I'm forced to reminisce on the wisdom of the ancients, so I'll be free. Theirs was a golden path of dauntless courage, of light and humanity, of decorum and beauty, of selfless love. Their sacrifice spoke to me of the glories of man, his ancestral wisdom, enfolding and insulating my heart with beauty. Yet I was called bad names, saw the indignity of kindred spirits, my women suffering the depravity of self-worth, of self-esteem. Shaped by life, I, a wayfaring vessel on tempestuous seas, wandered alone as clouds dispersed from the heavenly blue, no place to call my home, stumbling in a hollow maze of chaos and confusion. Who am I? I am a queen molded by the weaver of time, kept playing in mud like babies just to get dirty again. I was once pristine like new plates. Now I'm stained and dirty, tempted by the residue of life's culinary flavor of illusionary meals. I am a child woven from an embryo, carrying seeds and blueprints of a DNA going all the way back to ancestral Africa. I marvel at the intricacies of birth while living in dread of demise to an invisible ghost pulling me to the end of all my summers. Alas, like the deer that runs after its own musk, not realizing it comes from its innate self, I have forgotten that golden light within from whence I came to ascend the winding path of righteousness in order to find my way home.
All right, zoom on in, boys and girls. Get a close look at the freak show. It's become so commonplace to peddle weak tongues. I only talk to poets now. Normies say, I don't believe you. While the poet player believes in miracles, so can sometimes pull them off, we are the rowdy writers, returned to remind you why we started writing in the first place, here to translate cliche and weak language. I don't tell the truth or keep it 100. I'm born a decade away from 2000. I keep it 90. Can you read between these lines when I say I'm a descendant of concrete? I mean, I've nail scratched off the asphalt, a fall from reality of your tangible concrete concerns. I look up to worms and shoe goo. I'm an intangible temper tantrum, eviction notice getting ripped into confetti. Enjoy the show, y'all. I'm a descendant of the certain, repelling off reality, infinity, bottled, bolted to my pelvis, time burning, blistering my hands until I squeeze her tight at night. You might say, I love you. I say, I just don't like the thought of spiraling around my own tailspin alone anymore. I want to hold if I'm going down, it's going down with me, shackled together like two anchors who call rock bottom shallow. We melt through concrete like iron does through overboard. She looks me in the eye, says, I'm here to drown again. Do you call that I love you? Or is it I am you? I can't say I am without thinking of whose name that is. I wonder if I am might really show up if called on enough, if the mouse squeaks loud enough. When my mother passes, sometimes I burn bridges, y'all, pressing my mother's ashes into diamonds, wondering if the coal of this boy could be another confetti bird flying away like a phoenix, or if I'm just a robin covered in enough ash that you thought I was a miracle. So I laced my shoes up. So my thoughts were racing, wasting your time. I'm trying to manifest this ideal life, but I feel calm, y'all. Chill, y'all. Like a bomb, y'all. The way that we kiss be turning up the radio to a sound of a boom bat track that might just scare your nephew in the next door room over. So be careful with these words, y'all. We got one chance to come together here. Every line stolen from every poet that I've ever heard of, because all is fair in love and war.
There you are, grabbing hold of that mutant boomerang of a video game controller, eyes glued to the radioactive gaming screen, thumbs resting firmly on the controller stick and A button, barrel rolling and blasting away at the forces of intergalactic evil in Star Fox 64. You're freaking out in joy like the honeycomb mascot because the controller is vibrating. because of a new thing called a Rumble Pack attachment. When all of a sudden it's 3:30 and you're not gonna miss Pokemon on the living room's 32-inch Panasonic. You rapid dash your way towards the living room couch, diving with TV remote and cable box remote in hands, spinning an exact 180 degrees mid-air with flair as you descend towards the lovely comforts. As you do, you simultaneously turn on both the TV and cable box with the channel already set. Nobody knows how cool of a kid you can be behind the social awkwardness. You'll have growing pains in puberty and therapy, but enough of that. You waited your entire day to watch Pokemon. This is the time of day you don't have to worry about trying to fit in. Your fourth grade class pretended to like you for one day and threw you in the dirt the next. This is the time of day when you aren't the loneliest kid in recess playing kickball by yourself a drag. You will end up rounding up other rejects and shoot beatball every day in 5th grade. However, this is the time of day you don't think about your dad, who will slip into a seemingly unbreakable depression, or all about how hard your mom is trying her best to work to sustain the family by herself, only to witness the statue of the woman rust away. But what are you to do? What can you do? You're 9 years old. You got some math, science, and language arts homework, but it can wait. It can all wait. Just make sure you fit in that healthy dosage of visual serotonin into your system and have fun as you turn on, tune in, and drop out.
My therapist asked me if I have any thoughts of harming myself or others. I say no. But the truth is, I think about dying more often than I should. If you hand me an infant, I will obsess over how it would feel to drop it. I see small dogs and I want to kick them. Once I took a handful of pills because I was too tired of failing and failed. I woke up the next morning. Sometimes I'm afraid if I tell the story, someone will see it as a challenge. And then I get mad. I get real mad. But the problem with my angry is I always end up crying. If I'm being honest, I'm kind of a crybaby. But I want people to think I'm tough. I have an identity crisis because I'm as dark as 11:50 p.m. and people still say I'm not black enough. Once, my friend said I could be the Drake of poetry, and ever since then, I've been doing everything not to be. What I mean is, I'm really good at delaying my success. I be out here blocking blessings like Matumbo. And since we're talking about basketball, I almost never shoot my shot, but I blame women for my being single. I tell myself they can't love me more than my mother did anyway. There's so many ways to harm yourself, and I've tried most of them, but falling in love is probably the worst. And I'm not sure my therapist would agree. So when she asks, I just say no.
Poison at the end of the food chain is very rarely its source. Lightning strikes with blinding speed, yet the burnt tree knows that it came from above the clouds. The tyranny of oppression is not new, but an enemy of man, sweeping down the path of centuries. When a dying man says, I cannot breathe, it is really a complex and repeated echo, a poignant and tragic one indeed, leaving the heavy stain of grief, sighing on the living breath of countless souls. Dying from the coldness of another reawakens the cry of longing for equality and justice by the oppressed, who seemingly won the battle against the brutality of slavery only to fight another war for survival. The very presence of excessive greed defines by nature unjust elements in a society which is either duplicitous, complacent, or indifferent. There is an ingrained history of abuse of power, insecurity, and mistrust. Like all chronic afflictions, the remedy is painfully slow, and the wheels of pain keep spinning in ghettos. As such, social disparity prevails, together with hunger and deprivation, breeding strife in the hearts of the dispossessed. A wise man once said, the best remedy for the soul is love. But what if it doesn't work, said the skeptic. Then increase the dose, the seer replied. Yet whales run red, echoing in ancestral Africa. Each heinous crime diminishes me, weakens the spirit of a community which inherently wished to live peacefully side by side, but is instead forced to address the ravages of disorder. So while the light of the firefly is no match for the stunning effects of moonlight, even a candle of hope can light up the sky. My eyes are not as powerful as the sun, yet they see colossal things. Like moths, some rush to the seeming light, which is none other than darkness. Callousness reigns in many hearts. The dead blames the ones that are dying. The cry of each soul longs for freedom, tugging at sunrise upon the dawn and sunsets on the horizon. Meanwhile, confusion reigns in the light of day, while we weep in the shadows, striving to love against a background of pain and complacency. Tomorrow is another day, and today well spent prepares and shapes my journey. I rise at dawn, hear the lark sings, and aspires to its eloquence and vivacity. The charm of daffodils and seasonal spring fills my heart with wonder, and I, taking another breath, joyful to be alive. Sea water rushes towards me, bringing a rhythmic melody, a reflective piece of music of everything that is good and noble, full of peace and light. I bow in sweet reverence, offer myself to the glories of creation, wish all kindred spirits would breathe this love.